Alright boys, welcome back to another video. Thunder Alley here. Oh my goodness, he just caught the ball. Are you kidding me? That's Yosavas. Guys, there's 10 seconds left. The Bengals are using their final timeout. They've got it midfield, so they're going to have to get at least one more play off and then get out of bounds to give their kicker a chance, who's missed 2 kicks in this quarter alone. Talking about McPherson. Just a nerve-wracking game. I have no idea as of the time we're recording this right now if we're going to win. We were up big in the first half. Justin Herbert was putting together really the best game of his career. I know the Bengals defense wasn't exactly the best coming into this, but primetime Bengals season, they're desperate. They lose this, their playoff chances, they can kiss them out the window. And Herbert came out aggressive. The defense was shutting down the high-scoring Bengals, who once again, yes, they're not the best. They're 4-6, but they're a top 5 offense in football. Everything looked great, and all of a sudden it didn't. The Bengals kept pushing the ball down the field. The Chargers were going 3 and out. Herbert missed 7 straight passes. They went incomplete. The run game was non-existent. Herbert lost a fumble. The Bengals were sticky in coverage. It was just a wild game, and now it's going to come down to these last couple of plays here. Bengals probably have a chance for maybe 3 if they're lucky. Probably 2 though, with 10 seconds left. Again, they're at midfield. They're just across midfield. Let's see what happens here. Burrow, he's looking, oh my goodness, he's looking end zone, guys. He throws it up, 1-on-1 chase. Oh, it's going to be off of his fingertips. Good job by the Chargers defensively. Now with 3 seconds left in this game, you have to throw a Hail Mary. The Bengals season's going to come down to this play. It's just frustrating if you're a Cincinnati fan because, like the Chargers, they've lost 10 straight games decided by, I think, 3 or less. Correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, those are the games that hurt the most when you're right there a couple of plays away and you can't get it done. I mean, how many times have we seen the Chargers just be a play or two away from winning a game this season? Every loss we've had, all 3 were by 1 score. But just the past couple of seasons, man, it hurts. So I can definitely feel their frustration. Harbaugh's going to take his final timeout with 3 seconds just to see what the Bengals are putting out there. This ball obviously has to be thrown to the end zone. You don't want to pull a Chicago Bear where you deflect the ball, it goes back into the hands of a receiver. You want to try to either catch it or you want to try to make sure you bat it down where nobody is. But the Chargers, they're disciplined with Minter, Jesse Minter. He's probably going to be a head coach within the next couple of seasons. He's that good. #1 ranked defense, gives up 27, but again, I don't think the Chargers will give up 27 the rest of the year. This is the best offense they're going to see without question, at least in my opinion. Oh, actually, the Ravens. I don't know. You guys can pick who you think has a better offense, the Ravens or the Bengals. I think it's really, I guess I'll give it to the Ravens because they got the MVP in Derrick Henry, but that's going to be Monday night. We'll see that. So the gauntlet of the schedule right here. We're about to get into the game, but I'm just doing a live reaction. All right, guys, here comes the game. Final play. Bengals Hail Mary. Good pressure by the Chargers. Forced Burrow to get rid of it a little bit early. The ball is almost caught by T. Higgins, but it's Derwin James. Who else? Oh my goodness. The Chargers walk out of here with a win. They're 7-3. They now have a 91% chance to make the playoffs. Wow. What a finish. That's going to basically end the Bengals season. They brought it. They fought. I mean, how many teams would have been in the Bengals situation where you're getting blown up by the Chargers on the road, of course? First half looks over and then you fight back. And unfortunately, again, those missed kicks kind of hurt them as well. But the Chargers, you have to think that they're not going to be all that satisfied with the win. They'll take it, but they understand that they've got to be better. They've got to play 2 complete halves, especially if they want to get to the level that they want to, which is going to be to win a Super Bowl. And just, oh my goodness, dude, that is an unbelievable play right there by Derwin James to go up there and to knock the ball out of T. Higgins' hands. If T did catch that, would have been short, but maybe he falls in or something like that. And then the Bengals, if they do get that, they have a chance to go for 2, which they did do that against the Ravens and failed, so maybe they wouldn't have. But yeah, I mean, that's just an unbelievable game, man. Let's talk about it. So with the win, the Chargers, like I said, they go to 7-3. That's gonna push them above the Ravens, who are 7-4. So now, well, the Chargers, even if they would have tied, still would have been above the Ravens, but with the win, they're 100% over them. The 5th seed, Ravens go to the 6th seed. Broncos won today over the Atlanta Falcons big, so they're the 7th seed. Now the Bengals go to 4-7. The Dolphins are 4-6, so Miami is ahead of the Bengals now. The Colts are still there at 5-6. They've got a chance for that 7th seed or the division. The Texans are 6-4. They play on Monday night against the Cowboys. The Chargers are in a great spot. You can't rule out the division. The Chiefs are now 9-1. The Chargers are just 2 games behind them. Remember, there's a game left between us. That's going to be an Arrowhead. So if you win that, it's basically 2 wins. So that's great. But in terms of the stats, let's go ahead and pull that up and talk about it. So the biggest thing from this game is that the Chargers, they end up being up. You look at it'd be 24 to 6 points in the first half, and then the Bengals score 14 points in the third quarter. The Chargers only kick a field goal, and then the fourth quarter, both teams end up splitting at 7 apiece. Almost a collapse, but this is the difference, I think, between the Chargers now versus the Chargers then with Brandon Staley in the previous Herbert era, was just these are the games that they always let get away, and now they're winning them, finding a way. I mean, there was part of me that was thinking there's no way we're winning this game when the Bengals had all the momentum, Herbert fumbles, but then all of a sudden the Bengals miss a couple of kicks. The Chargers are able to keep getting the ball back, and finally they're able to capitalize with not only a field goal, but a touchdown, right? If you kick a field goal there, well, they could have ran the clock and went for the win, but let's just say they end up having to kick like a 50-yard field goal. Dicker makes that, but now the Bengals have a chance to get down the field for a field goal, and even though their kicker had missed a couple, it just plays like that separate the Chargers from being the Chargers from being the Chargers now with Harbaugh, Minner, of course, and Greg Roman. There's a lot things that need to get cleaned up, but overall, huge win, huge win, because if you lose this game, you end up, of course, going to 6-4, and 6-4, you still have probably a 65-66% chance to make the playoffs. But now the Bengals, I mean, you don't want them to make the playoffs, right? You don't want the Bengals to make the playoffs. You'd much rather face the Colts or the Miami Dolphins than the Cincinnati Bengals, because now you're talking about having to deal with maybe the Bills and deal with the Bengals, and there's just the Steelers is certainly going to be tough. They beat us earlier in the year with Justin Fields. I know the Chargers were derailed with injuries in that, but and Herbert wasn't close to his health right now with that ankle sprain, high ankle sprain that he was dealing with. But you want to be able to have the best advantage that you can, and the Chargers, they realized that they had to knock out the Bengals because Cincinnati, with all that firepower, we saw on full display in this game. So I'm very pleased with that. But just in terms of the defense, did a great job in the first half. Second half definitely kind of faltered. But Joe Burrow, 356 yards, 3 touchdowns. I mean, the Chargers, they hadn't seen an offense like the Bengals even remotely close. They haven't seen somebody go out there and throw for 350-plus yards, 3 touchdowns, maneuver the pocket like Burrow. I thought the Chargers did a really good job at stopping the run, outside of Burrow, who goes 2 for 28. But really, I mean, Chase Brown under 4 yards per carry. Drew Sample at a -4 rush. They did a great job defending the run. It's just the passing attack for the Bengals was just throwing it everywhere. And I don't even think the Bengals brought their best passing attack, which sounds crazy. 28 for 50. Burrow usually has better efficiency than that. So just a good job by the Chargers to get pressure and to knock out those of course, football is in the one-on-one situations. Give credit to this young Charger secondary that stepped up all season. It was one of my biggest concerns coming into the year, and I definitely was wrong. I'm looking at Christian Fulton, who came back. Elijah Molden ended up getting injured, but it looks like, I'm not sure exactly his status, but Asante Samuel's on the IR, which means you're looking at Cam Hart, who ended up getting hurt in this game. You're just looking at like Tarheeb Still, guys that really no one would know besides Charger fans. Even some Charger fans probably don't even know who some of these guys are, and they're just able to step up and make plays. And I mean, you can just see it. I'm looking at Justin Herbert right now doing his post-game interview. You can tell he's not like 100% happy, but I would say he's like 80% happy, just because he realizes that, hey, look, the Bengals, they're a hell of a team. The old Chargers would have found a way to lose this game, even though they were up big. And now you can go into, of course, the rest of the night knowing that you're 7-3. You've got a chance still at the AFC, the division. You're feeling pretty good. And this was the start of the Chargers gauntlet schedule. So they're going to play the Ravens on Monday Night Football. Then they've got the Falcons, Chiefs, Bucks, Broncos. Very tough teams coming up. Lad McConkey goes, he had 6 for, they just took it away on the screen, but McConkey ends up finishing this game 6 for 123. Best game of his young NFL career. He's had some good ones, some very, very good ones, but this was without question the best one. Will Disley, 4 for 80 and a touchdown. In my next video, we'll break down more in depth about these players and the stats. I mean, right after the game, it's hard to just dive into the stats because you're just thinking emotionally and not logically, but I'm pleased with the win. Quentin Johnson goes 2 for 48 with a touchdown. The run game, 6.2 yards per carry. A lot of that, though, is because Herbert goes 5 for 65. I don't know why Herbert wasn't running in the second half. Maybe it was because, I know the Bengals had a spy in him, but I wasn't paying attention exactly how many times they did. I saw a few of them, but maybe that was why. But I don't know, just it's things like that. But Dobbins, 2 touchdowns in this game, 11 for 56, saves my fantasy season. I know you guys don't care, so I'm not going to talk anymore about it. Gus Edwards, 4.5 yards per carry, only had 6 carries. Just strange, man. Strange game. Looking forward to hearing your guys' opinion down in the comment section. I'm out. Peace.